What would you do if the legacy of the person you loved most unraveled a web of lies that turned your family upside down? Emma stood in the cold, cavernous law office, her breath catching as the lawyer's words echoed in her mind. Grandpa Henry's will, read just moments ago, wasn't just a document, it was a bomb, primed to detonate the fragile bonds of the Harper family. Emma, a quiet bookstore owner with a heart full of dreams, had always seen Grandpa Henry as her anchor. His stories of resilience, his gentle laugh, and his unwavering belief in her had shaped her life. Now, with him gone, she expected his will to be a final gift, a quiet passing of his modest estate. But what she didn't expect was the chaos it would unleash. The reading of the will took place in a sterile room, the kind that smelled of old paper and older grudges. Emma sat beside her cousins, Mark and Lila, their faces tight with anticipation. Mark, the eldest, was a slick real estate agent with a smile that never reached his eyes. Lila, his younger sister, fidgeted nervously, her designer purse clutched like a shield. The rest of the family, uncles, aunts, and distant relatives filled the room, their whispers buzzing like static. Emma felt out of place, her simple sweater and jeans a stark contrast to the polished suits around her. She didn't care about the money, she just wanted something to remember Grandpa by, maybe his old typewriter or the locket he always carried. The lawyer, Mr. Grayson, cleared his throat and began. The estate was larger than anyone expected, the family cabin, a hefty savings account, and a mysterious trust fund nobody knew existed. Gasps rippled through the room, but Emma stayed still, her heart aching for the man who'd raised her after her parents died. Then came the first shock, the bulk of the estate house, savings, everything was left to Emma. Not a dime to Mark or Lila, who'd spent years boasting about being Grandpa's favorites. Mark's face twisted, his charm replaced by a scowl. Lila let out a sharp cry, her purse hitting the floor. The room erupted in murmurs, but Emma couldn't hear them over the pounding in her chest. Why her? She'd never asked for this. Mark stood, his voice cutting through the noise. This is absurd, he spat. Grandpa promised me the cabin years ago. He said it was mine to develop. His eyes darted to Emma, accusing. You must have manipulated him, Emma. You were always at his side, whispering in his ear. The words stung, but Emma held her tongue. She knew Mark Scammie had always been greedy, spinning tales to get what he wanted. Lila, tears streaming, chimed in. He loved us all equally. This isn't fair. Emma wanted to believe they were just grieving, but their anger felt too calculated, too rehearsed. Mr. Grayson raised a hand. There's more. He produced a sealed envelope, its edges yellowed with age. Henry left a letter, to be read only if disputes arose. The room fell silent as he broke the seal. Emma's stomach churned. She could almost hear Grandpa's voice, steady and warm, as the lawyer read aloud. The letter began with love, recounting memories of family dinners and summer nights at the cabin. But then it turned sharp. To my family, it read, I've watched you grow, and I've seen your hearts. Emma, you loved me without expectation. Mark, Lila, your visits were kind, but your words betrayed you. I heard your plans to sell my home, to carve it up for profit. My legacy is not for sale. The room froze. Mark's face drained of color, and Lila's sobs stopped abruptly. Emma's mind raced. When had Grandpa overheard them? She remembered Mark's late-night calls, his big plans for the cabin, but she thought they were just dreams. The letter continued, revealing a secret that hit like a thunderclap. The trust fund wasn't just money. It was tied to a charity Grandpa had secretly founded, one that supported foster children like Emma had been. He'd built it in her name, inspired by her resilience. Every penny was to go to kids who needed a home, not to family who'd squander it. But the twists weren't over. Mr. Grayson set the letter down and introduced a woman who'd been sitting quietly in the corner, unnoticed until now. Her name was Clara, a soft-spoken woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a worn coat. "This," Grayson said, "is Henry's daughter." The room gasped again. Daughter? Grandpa had never mentioned another child. Clara's story spilled out, raw and unpolished. She was from a brief marriage in Henry's youth, given up for adoption before he met Emma's grandmother. He'd found Clara only a decade ago, keeping her secret to protect her from the family's judgment. He'd left her a small portion of the estate not out of obligation, but love. Emma's heart twisted. She felt betrayed, yet awed by Grandpa's hidden life. Clara's presence was a bridge to a part of him she'd never known, and it softened the sting of Mark and Lila's betrayal. Mark, however, wasn't done. "This is a scam," he shouted, pointing at Clara. "She's after the money, just like Emma." But Clara shook her head, her voice steady. "I don't want anything. I just wanted to know my father." Her words hung heavy, exposing Mark's accusations as hollow. Emma saw it then, the greed that had blinded her cousins, the lies they'd told themselves to justify their plans. The family dispersed in a haze of shock and anger. Mark stormed out, vowing to contest the will. Lila followed, her face a mask of defeat. Emma stayed behind, clutching the letter. Clara approached, hesitant. "I didn't know about you either," she said softly. "But Henry talked about you all the time. He said you were his heart." Emma's eyes welled up. She'd lost Grandpa, but gained a sister she never knew she had. They talked for hours, piecing together his life, his choices, his love. In the weeks that followed, Emma took on the trust fund, determined to honor Grandpa's vision. The cabin became a retreat for foster kids, a place of laughter and healing. Mark's legal threats fizzled out, his lies had no weight against Grandpa's truth. Lila, humbled, reached out to apologize, and Emma forgave her, knowing healing took time. Clara became a quiet presence in Emma's life, helping with the charity, their bond growing stronger with each shared story. As Emma stood in the cabin one evening, watching kids play by the lake, she felt Grandpa's presence. His will wasn't just about money or land, it was about love, trust, and the courage to stand for what mattered. The lies had been exposed, the secrets unveiled, and in their wake, Emma found a purpose bigger than herself. She'd been given more than an inheritance, she'd been given a legacy to carry forward, one that would outlive the greed and mend the broken ties of family.